What's up, Captains? Welcome back to another episode of the Captain's Lifestyle Podcast, where we inspire you to optimize your health, find fulfillment, and maximize freedom. This episode, we're going to be talking about some simple, healthy food swaps that you can make, because a few weeks ago, my dad and I visited my 77-year-old uncle, who is a Vietnam War veteran and has fallen victim to the Western medical system and is just loaded up on pharmaceuticals. He's struggling with arthritis, diabetes, and a few other things. And obviously the medications are not working for him because he just keeps getting sicker and sicker and sicker, which is the position that I know a lot of you guys may find yourselves in, or a lot of your relatives may find themselves in. Because if you look around, 70% of Americans, over 70% of Americans are overweight or obese. 60% are on at least one prescription medication. 40% of those are on 2 or more. So it's clear that the Western medical system is not working, because depression, obesity, type 3 diabetes, which is Alzheimer's, chronic disease, heart conditions, all of these things are rising at an alarming rate. So if 60% of people are on a prescription medication, why are these things not getting better? Well, it's clearly because the medicine that is being given to cure the diseases does not actually do that. It just band-aids the symptoms. It covers them up. So one of the first things that I noticed when we walked into my uncle's house was, one, that he is largely sedentary, largely immobile. He's in a wheelchair, can't move. That's due to a lot of complications of, him just steadily declining, not taking care of himself. And I noticed behind him was a stack of snack foods. It was things like wheat thins, these artificial meat sticks, graham crackers, which apparently his nutritionist told him were diabetic friendly, which is absolutely not the case. They're loaded with gluten, which is horrible for your gut, loaded with sugar, which is obviously horrible for diabetes. The thing that he said that the nutritionist said was good for diabetes was the cinnamon. Well, it's a specific type of cinnamon that's good for regulating blood pressure, blood sugar, and that is Ceylon cinnamon, which those graham crackers do not have. There's popcorn and just a bunch of crap. What we decided to do, my dad suggested that we go to Sprouts and get him some healthy food alternatives, because I also checked in the fridge and it was just a bunch of nonsense. It was like this fake butter that's made with seed oils that just causes massive amounts of inflammation, which is what leads to chronic dis-ease. So that's what we did. We went to Sprouts, and that's what we're here doing today. So I'm going to show you guys a lot of the supplements that I got, just very basic fundamental supplements, which are normally my last recommendation, because you can correct basically everything through healthy lifestyle behavioral adjustments, and supplements are like the last resort. But in this case, because he's largely immobile, he's just loaded up on all these other pills. Taking a pill or a supplement is a very easy thing to do. It requires no effort, right? You just have to do it. It doesn't require any behavioral change. So there are some supplements that I do recommend in this case, because they can make such a dramatic difference with somebody who is nutrient deficient, who is largely immobile, and it's basically one of the only things that he can do. So he mentioned that he was willing to make some changes, and so we went to Sprouts, got some healthy swaps. So that's what we're here to show you today. Let's go. All right, so one of the first things that I recommend and that we got him was a combination of omega-3s, fish oil, and CoQ10. So omega-3s are basically liquid health. It's good for everything: heart health, eye health, joint health. It reduces inflammation. So getting a high quality DHA and EPA supplement is one of the best things that you can do for just overall wellness. So we got him that, but the best way to take it is liquid form, but a lot of people don't like the way that it tastes, especially somebody in this condition who's just addicted to comfort and just things that taste good. So they do come in pill form, and this one is combined with CoQ10, which is an antioxidant that's good for heart health and brain health. So anything for someone in this situation, when you can combine multiple things together, is a good choice. So Nordic Naturals is a good brand for this, combines the omegas and the CoQ10. We also got him something for blood sugar. We got him this one here, which combines a lot of different things. In addition to blood sugar support, it's got digestive enzymes in here, as well as probiotics to support with gut health and nutrient absorption. Probiotics not only help heal the gut and support the beneficial gut bacteria, they also support a healthy immune system, which is obviously going to help all around. Same thing with the digestive enzymes, help with the digestion, obviously, but also energy, because when you're able to actually break down, utilize, and absorb more nutrients from the food that you're consuming, that helps with energy, because the energy isn't going to digesting the food because it's got support. And then so in here there is cinnamon, like we mentioned, and there's also some other things like chromium and resveratrol, which is a powerful antioxidant. So again, when you can combine multiple things into one, normally I wouldn't necessarily recommend that because the doses may be a little bit off, but because he's already taken so many other pills, something like this is a good option. They've also got a bunch of other options, like here's the Ceylon cinnamon that I mentioned. This is a good choice. We also got him some MassZymes, which are from Bioptimizers. These are the absolute best digestive enzyme supplement on the market because they contain 2 types of protease, which is the enzyme that breaks down proteins into absorbable amino acids that your body can actually use, because it's not the amount of protein that you consume, it's the amount of absorbable amino acids that you get. And he wasn't really eating that much protein at all. It was just mainly carbs.
Can I please have a backyard cashier to open up?
MassZymes also has 15 other digestive enzymes like lipases and amylases to help break down carbs and fats. So this is a game changer, not just for someone in his condition, but I use these all the time to help optimize muscle gain and nutrient absorption. You guys can get the hookup on MassZymes. They are at Sprouts, or if you want to order them online with a discount, you can use code Captain Morgan. The link will be in the description. All right, another foundational supplement is calcium, magnesium, and potassium. So this is good for, again, basically everything. Magnesium plays a role in over 600 different enzymatic functions, helps lower blood pressure, which is something that he was struggling with, very high blood pressure. Same thing with potassium. Potassium is also helpful with lowering blood pressure. Calcium helps with strong bones. The problem with most magnesium supplements, though, is that they contain forms of magnesium that are very poorly absorbed, like magnesium oxide, as this one has. So let me show you guys the best magnesium supplement. But before we do that, other forms of potassium that you can get from real foods. Avocados are very high in potassium. Salmon is high in potassium, so is spinach. So eating a whole food, real food, organic diet with nutrient-dense foods can help with living healthy life, obviously. All right, so Bioptimizers also makes the best magnesium supplement on the market. This is because it contains 7 different forms of highly bioavailable magnesium. So like I said, magnesium plays a role in over 600 different enzymatic functions in the body. So it's good for stress, for lowering blood pressure, for sleep. It increases melatonin and GABA production. It helps with bone health, with brain health, with digestion, with muscle recovery, a lot. Do you suffer with stress, anxiety, trouble sleeping? If so, you could be part of the 80% of people who don't get enough magnesium in their diet. Most supplement brands use cheap, low-quality ingredients at ineffective doses. Bioptimizers goes all in on their formulations, combining 7 different forms of bioavailable magnesium. That's why I recommend Magnesium Breakthrough from Bioptimizers. So in addition to a high quality magnesium supplement for blood pressure, you also want to make sure that you get a high quality potassium supplement, because it's not just about having too much sodium intake, it's about the imbalance of the potassium and magnesium. So getting a high quality potassium supplement can help tremendously. In addition to reducing just regular sodium from like white table salt or soy sauce, you want to cut that out and instead get a high quality mineral-rich sea salt, like a Celtic sea salt. All right, the one good thing that I noticed that he was already taking was a methylated version of vitamin B12, which is good for a lot of things, but primarily like energy production. So you want to look for the methylated version instead of the one that most brands are going to contain, which is the cheaper form, which is cyanocobalamin. That's not good. So if you do supplement with a vitamin B12 supplement, get the methylated version. Another one of the supplements that we got him that I normally do not recommend is vitamin D3 and K2. And the reason I don't recommend that is because it's a hormone, and supplementing with hormones like vitamin D or melatonin is another hormone, is because it can downregulate your body's natural production of it. So instead, what I recommend is getting out in natural sunlight. The sun is actually very, very good for us. I'm not gonna go deep into that into this video, but the reason why I recommended he supplement with vitamin D3 is because he is, like I said, largely immobile, and he spends most of his time inside and doesn't get much time outside. So in that case, I did recommend this vitamin D3 and K2 supplement because it's fantastic for, again, overall health, wellness, vitality, immune function, and bone health as well. We also got him creatine monohydrate, which is something that I recommend everybody take. This is good for muscle strength, it's good for brain health, can help with sleep as well, and also energy. So creatine we can get naturally from eating like high quality grass-fed red meats, for example, but I definitely recommend supplementing with creatine. It's super cheap. It's one of the most well-researched and studied supplements with no negative side effects. So taking a creatine is tasteless. I told him to mix it in with his protein powder, which we're gonna get into next. So like I said, we also got him a high quality protein powder because he definitely was not eating enough protein. Most people aren't getting enough protein. So we got him this one. I've had this one before. This is a plant-based protein, which isn't necessarily bad. You just want to make sure that you get one that contains one with the correct like ratio of different proteins. So this one combines pea protein, rice protein, mung bean, and chia seed protein. And the real reason why we got this is because it tastes good. So if you want a protein powder that doesn't taste like garbage, that's still pretty good, this is a good one. It's all organic, chocolate flavor. Meeting your protein needs, especially for somebody with diabetes and who is struggling with muscle atrophy, will help tremendously because protein is extremely satiating. So it will fill you up so you don't feel like you need to eat more. All right, so I also saw that he had Frosted Flakes, and he likes cereal. So instead, we got him a healthy alternative. This one's from 3 Wishes. It's got more protein, less sugar, gluten-free. So this is a phenomenal alternative to Frosted Flakes. He drank it with almond milk, which is horrible because almonds are one of the highest sprayed crops in pesticides that contain glyphosate and other toxins that just destroy your gut. So we also got him a high quality milk. Let me show you. All right, so when it comes to milk, there is a bunch of options, but by far the absolute best gold standard option is raw milk. So they're out of the gallons, but they've got this one right here. So why raw milk is best is because it hasn't been pasteurized, meaning that it still contains all of the digestive enzymes, all of the beneficial probiotics, all of the nutrients found in milk. So even people who are lactose intolerant, many of them find that they can drink raw milk just fine because, again, it contains all of those things to help you digest the milk. But we didn't get him raw milk because it's super expensive and he's not able to afford that on a regular basis. So instead, we got him the next best option, which is something like this, 100% grass-fed milk. We actually got them the 2%. So these are all good options. These here, anything that's 100% grass-fed. This is the actual one we got them right here. This is A2 milk. So A2 protein that comes from A2 cows is more easily digestible. So if you guys can't get raw milk, look for A2 grass-fed milk. If you can't find grass-fed milk, I recommend just not drinking milk at all, because the dairy industry is essentially torturing cows.
The Animal Recovery Mission undercover in Arizona, and not just one dairy farm, but two, both supplying Coca-Cola's Fairlife milk and Core Power. This is ARM's third investigation covering 8 Fairlife facilities since 2019.
I'm Tim Dolman with Fairlife. Animal care is foundational to Fairlife.
Newborn calves are chained and violently dragged away from their mothers at birth, simply for Fairlife and Coca-Cola to profit from the mother's milk.
This whole company, from the very beginning, has been built on great animal welfare, sustainable practices. We offer you a commitment to improve the practices that we now know were insufficient.
Top managers are using heavy machinery and electrocuting sick and in-labor mothers.
If it's not grass-fed coming from a high-quality company, it's garbage. The milk comes from tortured cows. It's been ultra-pasteurized, so it's void of a lot of the nutrients and the probiotics that normal milk has. So I personally don't drink any milk unless it's raw, but the next best option is the grass-fed A2. The switch for wheat thins that we did were these right here from Simple Mills. So these are significantly better than wheat thins. Again, as we talked about in the beginning, gluten, which is wheat, just destroys your gut, causes inflammation, not good for you, especially if you're diabetic or struggling with any sort of inflammation or illness or sickness. Not to mention, wheat is very heavily sprayed in pesticides, again, which contains glyphosate that also destroys your gut. And because your gut is your second brain, if you eat a lot of this, you may be experiencing things like brain fog and trouble focusing and low energy. So the switch we made were these seed flour crackers, which are all organic. You want to make sure that you look for organic whenever possible. And so these don't contain gluten. So tastes similar to wheat thins. You get the same satisfying crunch and salty satiation without the gluten and poison that's sprayed on wheat. All right, so for the graham cracker switch, we got them these from Annie's, which again are organic. These do contain gluten, but because it is organic, it's not going to contain the glyphosate, so it's not going to be as bad. And these are going to taste pretty good. There is another alternative. These ones right here are gluten-free, but I didn't get him these ones because, again, he's all about taste and flavor. So I haven't tasted either of these, but I just imagine that these ones are going to taste a little bit better, but both of these are good options. All right, so the last thing we got him was an alternative to the, I can't believe it's not butter spread that we got him, which was something similar to this. This Earth Balance original buttery spread looks healthy, right? Like the packaging makes it look like, oh, Earth Balance, wow, so great. No, it says right on the front, 77% vegetable oil. First ingredient, vegetable oil blend, palm oil, which one of the nasty things about palm oil is not only is it inflammatory for your body, so not good, but it also destroys rainforests because they just mow down rainforests to plant palm trees.
It's in everything, from makeup and toothpaste to donuts, chocolate bars, and in some countries, biodiesel fuel. It goes by many names, but it's most commonly known as palm oil. Global consumption of palm oil has quintupled since 1990, Oil derived from the palm fruit is easy to extract, has a higher yield than other types of vegetable oils, and can be used in dozens of products. But the proliferation of palm oil also poses a massive environmental threat. Each year, palm oil plantations destroy millions of acres of forested land, create billions of tons of carbon pollution, and kill endangered wildlife. All of this makes the palm oil industry one of the worst environmental offenders on the planet. In 2015, over 62,000 square miles around the world, much of it former forests, were committed to palm oil plantations. That's an area 4 times the size of Switzerland. Palm oil is one of the top 3 drivers of deforestation in Indonesia, a country that supplies more than half of global demand. Each year in Indonesia, fires are set to clear forested lands to make way for palm oil production. Just last year, over 10,000 square miles were torched, creating fires so big they could be seen from outer space. All of this unleashes massive amounts of carbon into the air. Fires in 2015 added more than 2 billion tons of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. The burning of forests to clear land for plantations threatens the 10,000 square mile Luso ecosystem in Sumatra, the largest intact swath of rainforest in Southeast Asia. It's home to hundreds of unique species and is the only place left in the world where orangutans, rhinos, tigers, bears, and elephants live side by side. But their home is disappearing around them. The Sumatran tiger and the Sumatran rhino are threatened with extinction. Only a few hundred of each species exist in the wild, and their habitats are often in the path of land clearing. In Borneo, there has been a 50% decrease in orangutan populations in the past 65 years. This is a direct result of the forest fires and conversion of woodlands for palm oil cultivation. Alongside logging and mining, land clearing for agriculture is currently one of the leading causes of deforestation. If consumers don't demand more sustainable practices soon, the products we buy can and will contribute to the loss of the world's rainforests. You can help by purchasing products that do not contain palm oil, or if they do, were made sustainably. Go to takepart.com/palm oil for more information.
So not only is it destructive to our health, it's also destructive to the environment. And really, those things always go hand in hand. What's destructive to the environment is destructive to us, and vice versa. So avoid palm oil. I will say, if it is RSPO certified, then that is okay. So if you do find something with palm oil, make sure it's RSPO certified. Then we've got in here natural flavor, sunflower, lecithin, olive oil. So they do have something that's good, but it's one of the very last ingredients. So this is trash. Instead, we got him some real butter, some Kerrygold, which is grass-fed real butter. This is good stuff. So if your doctor or anybody has told you that butter is bad, raises cholesterol, that's all bullshit. We actually need healthy amounts of cholesterol levels for healthy hormone function and just brain function. Simply making this switch can make a dramatic difference. So that's all that we're going to be covering for this video for Healthy Swaps. Obviously, there's an infinite number of things. I want you guys to understand that no matter what foods you enjoy, you don't necessarily have to give them up. There are healthy alternatives for everything, and it is actually incredibly simple once you understand this. Once you understand the simplicity of getting some like foundational supplements, once you understand making these healthy swaps. Obviously, it's still important to exercise and get outside and move your body, get out in the sun, put your feet in the ground. All of these things are just foundational to health, and it's very simple. So if you guys would like any support with this, you can click the link in the description to join my free wellness community with over 300 members from all over the world who are taking control of their health. And that way you can connect with me, ask me any questions. And if you have any questions or want me to do another video like this, then comment below and I will make a video about it. That's it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, remember, together we will make thriving standard. Peace and love, y'all. All right, thank you for making it to the end of this video. I hope it was helpful. So here I've got the original Captain Morgan, who is 70 years old now. Can you believe it? About what, like 8 years ago, he was a professional baseball player, has been playing his whole life. About 8 years ago, he retired from playing baseball because it was no longer really fun for him. He was getting injuries. His reaction time wasn't as good. Shoulder wasn't feeling good. He's a pitcher. This was about the time where I started educating him on some of these simple switches that you can make, and got him into exercising and all these things. And lo and behold, he was then able to feel better and then start playing baseball again. And he still plays baseball today, and he coaches pitching lessons out here in our backyard. So I'm going to hand the mic over to him just to talk about some of the things that were most effective for him, some of the things that he noticed made the most dramatic changes. So what would you say were some of the biggest movers for you?
Well, initially it was going to CrossFit. I had retired. I was fine retiring from baseball, and started working out. Noticed, because I had shoulder problems, and noticed it was about a year and a half, 2 years. Noticed that my shoulder felt a lot better. Playing catch with my sons in the backyard, I was thinking, wow, this feels really good again. And so I was a little bit re-energized, but I was still working at the time and still didn't feel great with regards to my weight. And Taylor suggested that it was a 30-day challenge, which initiated, and that was about 5 years ago. And it was a 30-day challenge on my eating habits. And so I took the challenge. I wasn't real excited about it because there were a lot of things that I was eating that I couldn't eat anymore.
Oh, boo!
I know. I was thinking, I can't have my cereal and I can't have treats. But it was the two things that I noticed was the biggest change in me was the elimination of all sugar and seed oils, canola oil. And one of the things that I noticed that he brought to my attention was just how many goddamn packaging misnomers on what's healthy and what's not. What, natural, organic, healthy foods. I was eating these granola bars, and he said, well, look at the ingredients of these things before you eat them. And sure enough, the top 2 or 3 items or ingredients in most of everything I was eating was either sugar or canola oil, some sort of seed oil. And so during that 30-day challenge, I couldn't eat any of that. And it was hard, the first week, especially sugar. Everybody craves sugar, at least I did. It was hard for about the first week, 10 days, but I stuck to it. And it was about 2 weeks in, I noticed a major difference in of how I felt, how I slept, energy. There was almost like a fog that I didn't know was there, was gone. I was thinking clearly. I used to take, the typical 4 o'clock nap when I was not working. I didn't need to do that anymore. I was sleeping through the night, other than having to take a pee in the middle of the night. But I would wake up more energized. I was starting to be more energetic at CrossFit, and started playing baseball again. And I swear to God, I feel as good as I did when I was 40 years old. It was the best thing that this guy ever did for me. And now, I'm not as religious on it as he is with regards to sticking to it. I'm probably 75%, but I feel fucking awesome. I really do. So thank you.
You're welcome. Love you, Dad.
Love you.